Hi, my name is Chris and I'm with Ignite Studio, and in this video we're going to be making a flower out of paper. And so this is our do-it-yourself activity for the month of March, and we're making paper flowers using origami paper. So you're going to get a packet that we have in Ignite Studio, and it'll include paper. So we've got just some plain paper that's going to be included, and then we also have some really fun paper too to do this project. And then we'll have an instruction sheet for you with a few ideas for patterns. And then at home you'll just need to grab a pair of scissors and then a pencil. So we will get started on our flower. First though, I'll show you some of the flowers that I've made already. So you can see there's quite a variety of patterns that you can make, and I think it's really nice to sort of see the design in the paper as well on these multicolored sheets. All right, so I've got my yellow sheet of paper, and the first thing I'm going to do is just fold this in half, so going from the bottom to the top. And we're folding this on the diagonal. And of course with origami, you always want to make sure that you lined up things really well. It does make a difference in your design, and it does take practice, so don't worry if you have to do this a few times to get the hang of it. So I've got my triangle here, and then now I'm going to bring my left corner over to the right corner. But instead of creasing all the way down, I'm going to just do a small crease right at the bottom of my triangle. And I'm going to mark that just so you guys can see it. You do not need to do that at home. This is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is bring this left corner up to the top. And I'm going to make a crease mark again. And so I just kind of use my thumb and go back and forth to make that crease. Okay, fold that back down. Again, for demonstration, I'm just putting a mark there. And then that mark is going to be used in this next crease. So I'm taking the top and folding it down to that crease mark and putting a little crease right here. Okay, so I have 3 creases at this point on my triangle. And so my next step is to fold my right hand corner here up to the mark that's about 3/4 down on the side there. And I'm lining up my edge at sort of the end points of those 2 crease marks. Okay. And my next thing is to fold the left-hand corner so that it lines up with this edge here on the right. So I'm folding that and lining up those edges. Okay, so your paper should look like this. And then our last step on the folding, the origami part, is to fold this in half. So I'm folding these papers over here. And then I'm creasing the right-hand side. So this is what you should have. All right, so the next part is the pattern that we want. So let's see here. I'm going to sort of make my flower kind of rounded at the top. And again, you would just do this in pencil so you could erase afterwards. And we'll provide patterns to you as well. And then I'm going to do a little insert here. This will sort of be in the middle of the flower. Okay, so these are the areas I'm going to cut. And you'll notice all of this gets cut off at the top. Okay, so this is what it looks like before we unfold it. And again, if you had pencil, you would just erase that, just so you can have a nicer looking design. But I'm gonna leave it. And now we're gonna slowly unfold. We've got one more. And then you see our finished design. All right, so here's our completed flower. So we use the art of origami for the folding, and then the art of kirigami for the cutting. So be sure and pick up a packet in Ignite during the month of March to do this project. And if for any reason you can't get to us, we also have an origami kit that includes the paper and a lot of activity ideas for both kirigami and origami. So thanks for joining us today, and be sure and follow us on any of our social media platforms, and we hope to see you in Ignite.